Hello everyone, and welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stan Rattan, and this is the Blue Collar Wine Show, where I help you spend your wine dollars wisely. Got a new camera, I'm excited about that. Hoping the sound quality is really good. I hope the picture's really good. We're going to give it a try, see if it works. We're talking Malbec today. Malbec's an interesting story. The sales have really dropped off at the store in the past couple of years. It used to be 3 or 4 years ago, you could not keep Malbec on the shelf. Part of the reason I think is some of the prices have went up on these. The other reason I think people just got tired of them. That's Argentina. You know, they pumped out a lot of Malbec. I often refer to them as vanilla ice cream. They all taste very similar. I only have a few dozen that I like personally that show good complexity and are very interesting wines. A few years back I mentioned that I thought that Argentina has to be careful not to put all their chips into Malbec like Australia did with Shiraz, and we see what's happening with Australian wines. It's ridiculous. I mean, I've went from a 16-foot set of Australian wines down to a 5-foot set of Australian wines. That's how much sales have dropped of these wines. I went on a little campaign a couple of years ago trying to get interest back into Australian wines. And, you know, they sputter along, they do okay, but nothing like back in the day. So we're going to look at two Malbec. Now, Malbec is an interesting wine. It's also referred to in France as Co. When you get over into the Cahors region of France. But it's also one of the 5 grapes of Bordeaux. You have Cab, Merlot, Cab Franc, Petit Verdot, and Malbec. And then sometimes there's a 6th one, Carmenere. But Malbec was torn up in Bordeaux, and now it is, I've read that they're starting to plant some more Malbec there. Basically in Bordeaux it's Cab Merlot, Cab Franc, generally speaking. A little bit of Petit Verdot, maybe a little bit of Malbec, and very little Carmenere. But what Argentina did was taking this varietal and made it a single varietal wine, and they were very successful with it there. It does really well in Argentina. And the first one we're going to try is the Bodini Malbec 2017. It is from Mendoza, Argentina. You'll see that a lot. Mendoza pumps out a ton of Malbec. And this rolls in at $9, so I was curious to try this. Don't have zoom on this new camera, but there you go. Hopefully you can see that. Give it a little rinse here. Yeah, it's kind of sad because, you know, there's a lot of really good Malbec out there. But generally speaking, people are seeking the inexpensive ones. Here I go again. Can't seem to get the wine to not drip on my glass. It's ridiculous. Anyway, let's see what we get on the nose. So a lot of raspberry on this one. Tons of raspberry. Get a little bit of tobacco on the back end, and I'm getting this like a little bit of minerality coming in, like crushed rock notes coming through. And there's almost like a sweet Asian spiced sort of thing coming out on that. And I get a little interesting, I get a little bit of pear coming through, which I find quite intriguing. Pear in my red wine. Let's see what we get on the palate. No raspberry at all, which is quite interesting that I got it on the nose but not on the palate. This stays out of the vanilla ice cream, although I find it quite one-dimensional. I do get a solid hit of a little bit of blackberry, a little bit of currant, a little bit of minerality on the backside of this. But what makes this one interesting to me is the tobacco that comes through on the back of the mid-palate into the finish. So it gives it a little bit more of an interesting factor. But overall, once again, these are a dime a dozen. These Malbec, they taste alike. There's not a lot of interesting things about them. They're just a good wine. There's no doubt about it. You can glug this down, chug, 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 enjoy it, not even think about it. You can pull this, buy a case of this. I mean, what did I say, $9? You can buy a case of this, pull it out when you have company over. They'll just drink it. You won't even talk about it. You'll just drink it. Here's a glass of red wine. Somebody say, oh, this is interesting, Malbec. But basically, this is what I personally find hard with Malbec, is this kind of flavor profile that you see in so many of them. And yeah, it's kind of bothersome a little bit to me. I'm just gonna go straight up C. It's average Malbec. It's a good price. I think a lot of you would like it, but once again, this is why I see a fade in the interest in Malbec, because so many of them have this flavor profile. Now this one will do well because it's $9. I'm just saying. Don't carry it at the store, by the way, for those locals. That was kind of interesting. I did, I think the last episode was on the Sandpoint wines, and I had 2 or 3 people come to the store and said, where are those Sandpoint wines you reviewed? So thank you for watching. That's really cool. And I have brought in the Pinot Noir and the Cabernet Sauvignon into the store. I already have the Chardonnay there. But that isn't why I do these, of course, to generate business at the store. Don't need to do that. But I know you guys watching, that makes me feel good. Makes me feel good. Let's move on. Now, I like this one. It's a 2014 King Malbec, Mendoza, Argentina. The name of the store I work at is King, so it's kind of interesting. This rolls in at $11. There's a label for you. I don't have a zoom thing on this like my other one, but I just want good quality sound. You know, I'll sacrifice some things for that. So King Malbec. Now I played with this in the past. I thought this was one of those wines that fell into these are kind of interesting wines sort of thing. I'm just having the hardest time pouring out this glass. So right off the bat, I get a little bit of black plum, a little bit of blackberry. Just a hint of tobacco coming through. Not super aromatic, a little aromatically challenged. Let's see what we get on the palate. This one has a lot more going on. This is what I like. See, these are the kind of Malbecs I like. It has tobacco, it has blackberries, it has black plum coming through. There's a little bit of a spiciness on the backside. I get it on my tongue, maybe a little bit of white pepper on my tongue. Very polished tannins, almost slick tannins on this wine. It has a delicious category, but at the same time, it's not a fruit bomb by any stretch. It has a little bit of a tarry edge to it on the backside, which I find quite interesting. This is what I like. Now, and even right at the back end, I get a little bit of black raspberry coming through, which is very interesting. I love the mouthfeel on this. It's almost like I have ball bearings in my mouth. I can't describe it any differently than that. Very slick, cool, really interesting mouthfeel. You'd have to try it to see that. And I will bring some of this in because I really like this wine. I'd forgotten about it until Chris came and handed me a bottle, said, here, give this a try. And I go, oh yeah, King Malbec. I like the tarry, I like the complexity in this wine. It has more going on to it. It is definitely not vanilla ice cream with that plum, raspberry, blackberry thing going on. Tobacco right on the backside, which I really find interesting. So this is why you shouldn't give up on Malbec. I know there's a lot of it out there. I know that all the stores shoved it in your face. I stacked it at the store. But this is a really good Malbec. It's $11, which to get this quality of red wine for $11, isn't easy to do. And I really like it. I think it's an excellent effort on Malbec. I'm gonna go B plus. It's that good, and the finish is still lingering on the backside. Get a little bit of warmth down here. I'm curious about the alcohol by volume, ABV, or alcohol content. See if I can find it. Sometimes they're so hard to find. And I know I feel like I've wasted your time on this. Oh, 14% right there, right in front of me. 14%, so it's got some alcohol, but it's well integrated. This is a beautiful wine in the sense that you could just sit there and drink this wine. You could watch the US Open, tennis, you could watch the FedEx Championship Cup golf, you could watch baseball, whatever you wanted to watch, you could enjoy this wine easily. You could have it with pizza, hamburgers. It's a great bottle of wine. Thanks for taking a little bit of time out of your day. I really, really appreciate it. I really like it when you come down to the store and you comment on my videos. If you have any ideas, make a comment, please do. What do you want me to review? Do you want to hear more lessons? Do you want to talk old world, new world wines? Do you want more of that? I need to hear it. I want to know what you're looking for. I like reviewing wines, but I also don't mind teaching because that's a big part of what I do. You keep watching, and I'll keep helping you spend your wine dollars wisely.